Alright, I started doing a couple of these videos. I figured I'd do another one. This is modifying existing STLs in CAD to meet your needs because yours is bigger or whatever. In this case, I 3D printed this thing for my wife. This is a keychain phone stand thing. Like, it's just very convenient little whatnot. Problem is, these cutouts are slightly too narrow for her phone in the phone case, and actually when you open this thing up you kind of have this angle which kind of shortens it even more. So I didn't design this, I just found it on a convenient model download site to print, but I'm going to start from this download and we're going to modify it for our purposes. Let's import the model into Fusion. I downloaded it here, and let's just quickly see how we can fix this. So when you import an STL you get this kind of weird mess, all of the surfaces of a bunch of triangles. It's this one of these open things, it's not like a real body. So the first thing we're going to do is just ask Fusion to convert it to a body. So in the mesh, let's modify. For the free version, this is basically the only method you can use. There is some more fancy methods for the expensive version, but this is normally fine to get us the beginning of what we want. And so what it has done, as we expect, is create it into two actual bodies. These things don't touch, they're printed in place, but these aren't actually connected, which is what we expect. And what we want to do is modify these so that they are slightly bigger. Now what I might actually do, just to make it really exciting, is if we convert these to a component, create components and bodies, very quickly I'm just going to create an assembly. Let's go back to solid, assemble. I should have done as built joint. What we need is to pick this internal surface, component, yes, component, yes, revolute is what we want, and I want to snap to let's try and this is going to be a pain in the butt if I don't have. Yeah, that is not what I wanted. Okay, so this is already, we're going to get into one of the problems. So as you can see, this surface is kind of a mess. What we really want is for this to be a face that we can more clearly operate with, because what I'm trying to do is create a joint so that I can model them at the angle that the phone needs to be at. Then I can make sure that I get that depth right to fit the case even when it's open. But this is a perfect example of one of the things that you often need to do when you're starting from a body that has been turned into, or from an STL into a body, and that is we're going to create a new sketch surface. We'll pick any one of these faces to be our sketch surface, and it will jump us to the wrong place because it's helpful like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to say project. So project is a great way to bring stuff in. We're just going to pick any three dots that are roughly thirds around on that surface, and then we're going to create a 3-point circle. So select the points that we just projected, and now we have a perfect circle like on that plane. And so what we should be able to do is yeah. So if I select that, Q. Right, so now we have a thing that we can lift. If I do that, we now have a full flat surface the way we might expect, but we can also then split it again. So we split this body and we split on this guy. This is a bit of a weird way to go about it, but in theory Not that one. Right, now we have that as a separate body. Right, so we get rid of that. So we've sort of done this artificial extend it and then drop it off, but now we have a nice flat circle that is a real piece of geometry. And now if I turn the other way around, we'll do the same thing in here. So this will give us two surfaces that we can reference that have a center point that we can define an axle off. And this, say, is something that you end up doing a ton, so you get quite used to. Am I looking at the wrong side of this? Yeah. Right, so again, any of these circles, just project 3 points from the edges, then do a 3-point circle to connect those 3 points, and presto, you've got yourself a surface. We can actually, I'm tempted to cut this all the way through. Like, I don't think it even needs to be solid. Why would it need to be solid? Let's do it that way for now. I think we've probably done enough to achieve the goal, the first goal anyway. So let's turn that body back on. We'll go back to assemble as bolt joint between you and you. We want it to be revolute, and we want to select what we can now select, which is this guy here. Boom. Perfect. So now we can play with that angle. So let's assume that a good angle for our stand is about 90 degrees. So what we want is this path through here to be big enough. What's a good way to do that? I think that what we'll do is we'll create a mid-plane. Let's create a mid-plane between, capture the position between you and you. So that's exactly the middle. And then we'll create a sketch on that mid-plane. And we'll project. Right, so project these interior lines. I mean, I guess, yeah, I think that's probably fine. So let's turn off the bodies for a second. Okay, so what we know is that the distance between here and here is what you've got for your phone case, and in my case I know that that needs to be 13.1ish. So we're going to offset this line by probably 3 in this direction, and offset this line by 3 in that direction. There we go, 13.6, that should be good. Then we're going to join that line to that line, that line to that line. We're going to turn our bodies back on. We're going to project our thing symmetrically. Symmetric. We're going to cut like that, which has caused all sorts of interesting artifacts, but that's okay. So what we probably need to do, I think, is let's just edit our sketch. We'll make these, there we are. Let's just extend our line up so we definitely just cut all the way through. Yeah, that's fine. we'll do that, and then, oh, did I just, there, that's what I want. So now we have something that when it's open will definitely have the gap we want, but we've got weird little bits of geometry in here that we want to clean up. So what I think we should probably do is roll this back a bit so that's not a weird sharp corner, and do the same over here. This one's actually not so bad. Just roll that in a bit, and probably it's the nicest way to clean that surface up. I reckon we will we definitely want to round in this angle. I think that we probably want to clean up that this kind of scooped out surface to just become flat with this. So let's do that. Let's sketch onto this surface. And again, we're just going to project some of the points that we want. So we definitely want that and that. Probably want that and that. Which is the lower ebb. Let's create a 3-point rectangle. That'll do. That'll do. And then we can just sweep you through there. But we'll do a join. So that's overcorrected. But then if I do split body, I use this face. Does that is okay. That's probably what we want. So we can get rid of that. That's nice and clean now, and then we can just recombine these points. Oh, recombine those points. Don't cut them, join them. There we are. Okay, so this guy now has actually quite nice geometry all over, and when opened at the 90-degree angle, we should have what we want. We can give the inside corners a bit of a radius. That was probably too much radius. Let's do, that's plenty, I think. This has got a bit of a weird, there we are. Okay, so I think that side is looking snazzy enough, and then we can do the same thing over there. Right, so combine the little bits together. And there we have, if I now just check what this looks like when it's together, there we are. So let's just, they go together, they have this weird little, that looks pretty good, I think. So there you go, that was a bit of a long run through, longer than I intended, but we'll edit that a little bit. Some basic editing of an STL. The main tricks being project the points of the original STL onto your sketch planes so that you have reference points to rebuild the bits of geometry that you need. Then you can kind of hack and slash your way through. It's useful to set up components for this kind of stuff where you can get it into the arrangement you actually need in order to, if I put that back there, what I'm going to want to do is export this whole thing. Save as mesh. So let's call this the phone stand keychain. I guess that's a remix. Let's just stick it in here. I try to differentiate models that I have sort of downloaded from somebody else versus the ones that I started from scratch. But we should now be able to, boom. So there's our new model. This is going to print at a weird angle, but that's fine. What did I print it in last time? PETG. Let's stick it in PETG. Let's go with probably just a optimal, slice the plate, bish bash bosh, 25 minutes. Print! Okay. So this is the original, and as you can see, this phone just doesn't quite fit in it because it's just not quite there when it's opened up. You can kind of close it to sort of right to there, which does work, but obviously it's a bit unstable there. Anyway, this is our new version. Put that in the sunshine. Just a little bit of modification, and now it's perfect. Alright, it'll be interesting to see when I've edited this how much I actually left of the random ramblings in the middle of that, but hopefully there's enough content to have been kind of useful for what might be a quick video. We'll see. Thanks for watching. See you next time.